And that's why I also believe that musical education has to be part of every child's life. Also to train us to respect and to get to know other cultures, other songs, other languages, other cultural roots. And music is this wonderful platform where we are all the same. Our cultural heritage, our religious beliefs are of no importance. We are just there to share this experience with the audience. And I always felt that the arts in general, but music in particular, because the ear seems to be instantaneously connected to the heart. That music is able to evoke emotions in a very direct way, which probably no other art form can, reminding us that we are more than only our flesh and blood. We have a soul, and it needs to be nurtured. And that's what music is there for.
Hello vinyl community, back again to do another recent Vinyl Spins video. Like a lot of people, I was very dismayed to see the news about David Bowie. In fact, I first caught it late last night, yesterday, and almost thought it was a joke, and then I woke up in the morning and then saw a couple more postings, and then I realized that it was reality. So like a lot of people, I'm really saddened by the news. I mean, I was not a super big David Bowie fan by any means, but I did have a few of his albums, and I really enjoyed what I did have. So, yeah, that's about all I have to say on that. So, sad news indeed. But to get into the vinyl spins, as you saw with my intro, the first album I'm going to talk about today is actually a classical album. And, you know, a lot of people are going to stop the video right now. Oh my god, it's classical. But this one was just outstanding. And the violinist is by far one of my favorites, and that is Anne-Sophie Mutter. And this is really kind of a reinvention of classical music, or at least a way of trying to draw younger people into the music. So the Yellow Lounge in Berlin is a famous club, and you know, it plays a lot of EDM type music, and so they tried to cross grounds, and they brought in Anne-Sophie to play, and the results were just fantastic. And you know, this is really kind of an interesting comp of a lot of well-known tunes, but you know, to me, Anne-Sophie, her rendition of Vivaldi's Summer is like second to none. It's like she takes the tempo and it increases it to another level, and it's just so captivating. Just to offer you an analogy, it's sort of like seeing Hendrix light his guitar on fire. You know, some of the things that she's doing with the violin is just so damn impressive. And you know, even if you're not into classical, I do recommend just trying to give it a sample, just to see if it grabs you. I mean, it's Vivaldi's The Four Seasons. It's such a well-known piece, but what she does with it is just incredible. But anyway, this is just a fantastic 2-record compilation. It came with a download code, and you know, she is just fantastic. The pressing is outstanding. It was pressed at Palace, which, you know, to me, that and Optimal are the best pressing plants in Europe. So Deutsche Grammophon, which put this out, had several promotional videos on the album. I also put a link down below, but her renditions of some of the Bach pieces, she does Copland. It's just fantastic. She plays with such passion, and just amazing. One of my favorite violinists of modern day. So, you know, if I compare it to anyone, it's like a Joska Heifetz from the 50s and 60s. The next album, totally switching genres, is Grimes. So I don't blind buy things very much, and I gotta admit, this was a total blind buy. I encountered it in a Barnes and Noble. I saw it really cheap, so what interested me was the Russian on the cover, which this is "Я люблю Grimes," which I love Grimes. This is "Но я предупреждаю вас, что я живу в последний раз," which means that I'm cautioning you that I am living for the last time. And so I was intrigued by the use of Russian. I mean, there's some Japanese katakana here, so very interesting. And then I saw it was on 4AD, and the back cover is very interesting. So I knew nothing about this. I probably could have whipped out my cell phone and kind of sampled it. I'm not disappointed by it. It is very interesting. So Grimes is a female musician out of Canada, and she's the only one playing on this. There is a couple of guest spots on a couple of tracks, but everything is of the same tempo. So it has some EDM type beats. She's really big into vocal effects. She has a wonderful voice for the most part, but there were some parts which I didn't care for, where she, made her voice a little bit too high pitched, like a chipmunk. But there were a lot of good tracks on here. I was really impressed. I can't say that, I'd really want to explore her entire catalog, but this was kind of an interesting concept album, so not bad. Definitely worth sampling. Switching genres again, so gotta have some nice soul funk, and this is the Haggis horns. And the Haggis horns are a horn funk band with a guitarist and bassist, and I want to say that there's 7 members in the band. They've been around for a while. They've played with a number of famous folks, like Jamiroquai is one of the ones that comes to mind. They've been featured as backing musicians on a lot of popular tracks by a number of musicians, but a lot of them escape me. Morchiba is another one that they played with. This is good modern day soul funk. I mean, it goes back to the fun soul funk of the 70s. So they're pretty big in the UK. I didn't even know about them until I hit this album, and I just kind of sampled it online, and I really liked it. Nothing too extravagant, so they're on their own label, the Haggis Records label. So I think I got this thing pretty cheaply. I mean, it's pretty bare bones, but very consistent soul funk album throughout, and I definitely recommend checking this guy out. Next one, switching genres right again, is an EP called Disco Halal, and this is a 3rd EP. And so Disco Halal, what is it? It's remixed Arabic music with a little bit of EDM beats, and it has one of my favorite Turkish remixers on here, Mehmet Aslan. And that's not him, by the way, but he does the first track, and just to kind of give you a sampling of what it sounds like, here's what it sounds like here. Alright, so the last one for all the jazz folks in the house is one that I picked up that I was very curious about. So it's a record label out of Paris called Sam Records, and so they've been doing some reissues from the old Brunswick label, which was a Parisian or a French label. And so they're featuring a lot of U.S. and European musicians. So the U.S. musicians are ones that went on tour in Europe. This just happens to be Byrd in Paris. And They did 2 Byrd albums, and this just happens to be the first, and this was a concert that was done in 1958. It did feature Bobby Jasper on flute and saxophone, and Bobby Jasper, if you're not familiar with him, is a Belgian saxophonist, quite talented, but he died in 63 pretty early. What I did like about this is it came with a really cool photo insert, and this too was a really awesome pressing. So this too was pressed at Halal, and you know, they did a really nice job at replicating the label there. And 180 gram, dead silent, and I think these guys are limited to like 800 pressings, and there is only one US distributor as far as I'm aware of, and that is Acoustic Sounds. So if you're in the States, you're kind of paying through the nose, and I just, you know, I've read so much about how phenomenal the pressings were, and I have to agree. So this is mono, and it was really, really well recorded. And, you know, they did a really spot-on job with the, you know, replica type jackets that were being made in Europe at the time. So there you have it. 5 records which I've been spinning the past week. I've been spinning it quite a bit more, but I just wanted to keep it short and keep it to those 5. So folks, if you have a comment, drop one below. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to all my new subscribers, by the way, and I'll catch you the next time.